Brighten up those dark mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lecter. Mornings at the Cabin.
Mornings at the Cabin. Wheeler and Ollie with you on your Monday morning so far. I'm sure Lecter will pop in at some point. It's been an interesting weekend, a nice long weekend. Ollie, did you attend some of those services yesterday?
Yeah, I went to the one at St. Pat's.
Yes.
It was full and standing.
Absolutely.
It was a really good service. Yeah, and I didn't get a chance to go out to the overnight visual the night before, but I saw the photos from that, and they were really cool. So, yeah, it's good
Very
stuff.
nice.
Good stuff all around.
Absolutely. We always put on a very, very wonderful Remembrance Day vigils and so
Yeah, a lot of
celebrations, but I mean get-togethers.
Yeah, a lot of people go to a lot of effort.
Yeah.
And it really worked out.
Absolutely.
I'm grateful.
It was a lovely weekend. I mean, the weather was beautiful over the weekend. It wasn't too cold. I did a couple of really nice things. I went to a nice dinner on Friday, and or was it Saturday? It was Friday. No, it was Saturday. On Saturday. That's how good it was. And also over the weekend, Don Cherry finally put his foot in it and could not get his foot back out. That's
And you know
it.
what? I have read so much about this. I thought, this morning, oh God, please don't let us go down this hole. What we should do
Yes.
is we should talk about who comes next.
Yes.
Let's advance this and let's look about who is going to be the next. Like, who are we going to get to sit next to Ron McLean?
That's right.
And say mildly offensive things. for
Jeremy
long
Roenick.
enough. Yeah, sure. Done.
Jeremy Roenick.
Done.
Absolutely.
I'll take Jeremy Roenick. He was my favorite on NHL 94.
Oh, he was wonderful. Yeah. And did you see Pixelated Heroes?
No.
You haven't seen it yet. Okay. Well, he was great on NHL 94 for sure. But who sits next to Ron? And I mean, Ron didn't really get any flack for his
Oh, we did.
No, did he? Oh, I haven't
did.
seen any of it. Oh, I need to get into it. I'm not on Facebook anymore, so I don't get the comment threads as much. Although Instagram's not much better.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast.
Wheeler and Lecter with you on your Monday morning. Ollie is hard at work, dutifully doing the news, dutifully doing his duty. There you go. Little triple D coming at you.
Short-handed.
Little alliteration. Yeah, short-handed. Emily Peacock on vacation. That's how we got her. We promised her a little bit more vacay. And she was like, all right. It's fair enough.
No, we did.
It is.
Yeah, we did.
That's
true.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know this isn't Cabin Sports Radio.
Canada is short-handed.
Canada is short-handed this morning. Don Cherry in the box for, good Lord.
5-minute major.
5-minute major. Game misconduct. Yeah.
Awaiting suspension.
Awaiting suspension. Well, has been suspended.
Indefinitely suspended.
Sportsnet firing the octogenarian sports commentator this weekend over comments about you people not wearing poppies. Now, the you people seems to be a matter of conjecture in the comment sections on Facebook and on Instagram about who you people are. Did he mean all Canadians, or did he possibly mean new immigrants, which is where it seemed to be squarely aimed at? Because he said, you people come to this country, enjoy our milk and honey, and then don't show your respect.
I think we were all caught, probably at least a little bit by surprise when they actually fired him.
Oh, yeah, when they actually fired him. Absolutely.
The fact that, Don Cherry has been saying
ridiculous
ridiculous things for years. Shooting his mouth off is a better way to put it.
Mostly against the French, Europeans, and Russians. Anyone who's not Canadian, basically.
Yeah. He's expanded his horizons.
That's right.
In his older age.
To include people that don't watch hockey or that aren't hockey players. It's...
But the fact that he got in trouble for something he said on Coach's Corner is really nothing new. Anyone who watches Coach's Corner, was kind of becoming the reason you watched it, unfortunately.
Well, you want to see him because he seems confused a lot of the time. So you just knew something like this was going to come out. And something like this has come out before. There's been comments like this that are on par with what he said.
Yeah.
But it was just like, it was like watching your semi-senile, like, family member over Thanksgiving just go on a rant about Justin Trudeau's blackface past, and you're just like, something really bad is going to happen. Just a sec. Just give it a second. And people are starting to trying to be like, oh, maybe you should calm down. You're like, no. Wait. Just wait. Something's going to happen. And he'll just say something. He'll be like, there it is.
And then we let him.
Yeah.
And then he gets fired from the family.
That's right. You're fired from the family. Get out. A lot of Canadians really upset about this.
There's kind of like three different camps here. There's people who are upset, who love Don Cherry.
Yeah.
There's people who are like, I hate Don Cherry. I've hated him for years. It was only a matter of time. Thank God he's off the air.
Yep.
And then there's another camp of people who are like, I like watching Coach's Corner. I don't necessarily agree with everything Don says. In fact, I disagree with most things that he says.
Yeah.
But I'm still shocked that it happened.
It
After
finally
all
happened.
these years, it finally happened.
I know. Like, this is the straw that broke the camel's back for the 85-year-old. So the comments in Facebook and the comments on Instagram's no better than Facebook. Let's be very clear about that.
Well, it's owned by the same company.
That's right. You go into the comment section there, and it's just ridiculous. So, and I mean, even on our own post, people railing about, like, oh, I thought we had free speech in this country. Again, this is not what free speech is about. Free speech does not mean freedom from consequences. We need to put that to rest, because people are like, he shared his own opinion, he got punished for it. This country is going down the tubes. It's like, that has nothing to do with any of this.
No.
This is a corporate body, a private business, deciding that this person does not represent them very well at all, and decided, you know what? That's enough. And like, some of the comments are like, it's such a shame in today's cancel culture that these snowflakes will cost someone their entire career over something, just merely expressing their opinion. It's like, first of all, it's not merely expressing your opinion. He was railing against new immigrants, which is just gross. And second of all, his whole career, he's 85 years old. He could have retired 10 years ago, would have been fine.
Yeah.
And fine. We're all going to be okay.
And let's be honest, Don Cherry will be fine. He's got plenty of money if he so badly wants to get back on the air.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm sure there's...
Oh, I'm sure Rebel Media will have a spot for him on their sports commentating podcast.
I'm sure someone can help him out with a podcast.
Oh, someone's going to give him his own podcast.
It's
It's like, Don's Cherries or something. I don't know. It's on Don's Cherries podcast.
time to bring back the grape line.
Oh, God.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Someone, like, he should take this and probably retire. Like, just be done. Like, leave the public eye.
85.
Done. Yeah, there it is. 85 years old. Someone will manipulate this man into doing something like that. What we just talked about.
Like
will manipulate Don Cherry into doing
for Prime
Minister. You can stand by Justin Trudeau. You have to stand by Don Cherry. I would not be in the least bit surprised if John Cherry wore blackface. But no, I mean, I think someone will try.
I don't think Don Cherry likes costumes. I don't
Someone will try to take advantage of this person and manipulate them into doing something like a podcast or something like that for money.
Probably
Someone
Ron
will-
McLean. Been doing it for years.
That's right. Ron just sitting there like, oh, good Lord. What do I do? A thumbs up? A thumbs up, I guess. I wasn't even listening.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Ron probably wasn't even listening. He just gave the thumbs up because he was done.
Well, and this is kind of the tough thing from my perspective is that, yeah, like what he said, taken at face value is for what we can all. Oh my, we got a puppy dog wrestling match intermission going on in here.
Puppy fight.
This is Kodiak versus Penny the puppy, and I don't like Kodiak's chances.
Oh, she's so
She's
small.
a scrappy little one.
That's right.
Anyway, back to thank you, Sarah, for collecting the combatants. So the tough thing, I was talking with a couple friends about this obviously yesterday, and the tough thing with Don Cherry at this point in his career, he has never spoken in particularly fluent English.
No.
But now, at age 85, he legitimately speaks in half sentences.
Yes.
So when I didn't see Coach's Corner this past weekend when it happened. So the first I saw of this statement was a transcribed statement.
Yeah.
And a transcribed statement of something that Don Cherry says also can't really be taken as 100% accurate.
It's filled with ellipses.
It's just bracket 6 every 2 words.
Half word, dot, spelling error, dot. Spelling error? You're transcribing it. I know. Dot.
So, yeah, in the end, the thing is that it's tough to know with 100% certainty what he was getting. And as Ron McLean's sitting right beside him, I think that was kind of Ron's thought, because he made a statement afterwards and apologized for not confronting it when Don made the statement and, standing up for immigrants if you took it as an anti-immigration thing, which pretty much everyone is.
Yep.
But
he said, "You people enjoy our milk and honey," but like, anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think in the moment, Ron McLean was just taking it as a, hey, I'd like to see more people wear poppies. Just basically taking the statement at its essence and not at its potentially worst essence. Yeah. If I can defend Don and Ron for a second, I think that is why Ron sat there and thought, yeah, you know what? I'll go along with that. More people support the veterans, wear poppies. I think that's a sentiment we can all get behind. The problem with that is that it was based on a made-up premise. Yeah. That people were no longer wearing poppies, no longer supporting Remembrance Day. Yeah. Which is not the case. And the veterans and legions have come out and said themselves, we are not seeing a decrease in poppy sales. Yeah. This is a made-up problem. Yeah, essentially.
That's right. And, well, okay, so what he said, transcribed. So you people that come here, whatever it is, you love our way of life. You love our milk and honey. So you people that come here, he's not talking about people who just don't wear poppies.
No,
that's not what he's talking.
No.
You people that come here.
Well, because in Don Cherry's mind, you can't fathom that someone who's born and raised in Canada
that's right.
could possibly not wear a poppy.
Good Lord. But isn't aren't the hard fought freedoms won, including me not wearing a poppy?
No,
no.
Get out of the country.
I had my poppy on.
Yeah, you were fine. You were a good Canadian kid.
That's I'm a good Canadian kid. Where's Poppy? Not like these other people. I can't do Don Cherry apparently. So
just gotta yell louder. Voice crack a few times.
It's a controversy. This is the thing. So there are all these comment sections, everybody, like you said, in these like 3 or 4 camps, and everybody's saying that our country's turned upside down, liberals, blah, 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 snowflakes, blah, blah, blah. It's all mostly older people or just, whatever. It is what it is. And how we're too sensitive nowadays, blah, blah, blah. First of all, he's 85. He's been saying this stuff for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
The only argument that even matters in this entire thing is what the Legion said. And the Legion said, we don't like what he said at all. We appreciate his support, but what he said runs counter to what we believe.
Yeah.
And we do not stand by his comments whatsoever. Also, we have not seen a decline in the number of people that wear these poppies or that buy them.
Yeah.
That's it. Full stop. That's the end of the argument. The Legion doesn't support what he said, so there it is. Done.
Unfortunately for Don, it also matters what Rogers Sportsnet thinks. And they decided that it was just not worth the trouble anymore.
Exactly. There it is.
You know what? Frankly, I thought this was going to all happen 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You may remember on a I think it was a playoff Coach's Corner segment.
Yeah.
Don made some comment to Ron McLean about his, quote, lefty pinko friends.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's it.
I know.
He's done.
People complaining about how, like, the leftist media, it's like, he said that. What are you talking about? Okay,
I thought that's was
enough.
It. But no, 2 more years. He made it.
We're done. We're done talking about Don Cherry forever. Hockey Night Canada will be fine. We will come back to this, not about Don Cherry, but about who replaces Don Cherry.
Long live Coach's Corner.
Oh, my Lord. Well, it's about Don Cherry and him getting fired, so there's 100% chance that this firing will lead to a ridiculous suit.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast, where we cut out all the great music and you're left with the rest.
Now that Canada has been canceled and hockey is no longer the national sport because of what's been going on, what transpired over
Back
the
to
weekend.
lacrosse, I guess.
Back to lacrosse, that's right. That is the national sport, by the way, officially. So we should all be playing lacrosse. I'm a Calgary Roughnecks fan. You ever been to a professional lacrosse match?
I have not. I hear they're wild.
An NLL game? I went to a Roughnecks game a few years back. No respect for the game.
No.
Not from me. From NNL itself. While they're playing, CJ92 is playing over the speakers.
What a mockery.
So while they're playing, in hockey, like they'll play some music, and as soon as the game starts, music's off, focused on the game.
But they do that in basketball.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they have music playing during the game.
They do not?
They sure do.
Well, like the organ stuff, like bam, bam, bam.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right. No, this is like legit a stream of CJ92 playing.
Okay.
So it's like, 4 Nickelback songs in a row, a Tragically Hip song, and then It's
that's good lacrosse music.
That's good lacrosse music. Anyway, back to our country being a complete pile of garbage now that Don Cherry has been fired. Who replaces Don Cherry? And you know what? Ollie came up with this question while we were doing the intro to the show. I was like, that's a great question. Who replaces Don Cherry?
You know, it would be a slap in the face.
Jeremy Roenick. No.
I would love that. Actually,
that would be great. That would be great.
Brian Burke.
Brian Burke would be hilarious.
Basically the American equivalent of Don Cherry.
Yeah. Come in with his tie undone, his
hedgehog hairdo.
His hedgehog hairdo and like just beet red face. Looked like he's about to have a heart attack constantly.
And he would make like a bit more sense than Don and it would
only
enrage everybody.
Only a little bit
Only
more
a little
sense.
bit. Only a little bit.
All right.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I think Jeremy Roenick would be a good fit.
JR would be great.
Brett
Hall.
God.
Dual citizenship.
Brett Hall.
Get him in there.
I think I'm good. I think I'm good on the dual citizenship. Here's what I got to say about this.
We missed out on Sheer. Let's
That's right.
get a dual citizen up at the top there.
That's absolutely right. Yeah, so I mean that's an interesting question. Who's going to sit next to Ron, or is Ron even going to be there anymore?
Well, yeah, I wonder if they're just going to change up the idea for the segment. Like, are they still even going to have quote unquote Coach's Corner?
Yeah,
because I mean, Coach's Corner. Don Cherry was Coach's Corner.
He was the coach.
It started, and I mean, arguably should end with him, unless you don't want to give him that dignity or whatever of having his own segment that starts and ends with him.
I certainly don't want to give him any dignity, right? No, I don't really. I mean, it is. Yeah. It's just.
Oh, you bring back Peter Puck.
Who's Peter Puck?
You never seen the Peter Puck cartoons?
No.
All right, I'm going to look up a Peter Puck cartoon.
All right
now.
All right. So the question is, who replaces Don Cherry on Hockey Night in Canada? I think you're right. I think Coach's Corner is done.
Pat Kane.
Pat? Who?
Pat Kane.
Pat Kane.
PK.
Photographer Pat Kane.
That's right.
All right.
I think he'd be great.
I mean, he'd be pretty awesome.
He won Defenseman of the Year when he was 14.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
I won a baseball championship when I was 16. So
with Pat Kane?
No.
Oh.
No, basketball when I was 16, baseball when I was 13.
Man.
That's right.
What a legacy.
I know, baby. I should be coaching stuff. All right. Well, we'll continue that discussion another time.
Scenes on the cabin.
I can get that part in Bristol in 2 weeks. Here's your pomade.
2 weeks? That don't do me no good.
Nearest Ford Auto Man's Bristol.
Hold on. I don't want this pomade. I want Dapper Dan.
I don't carry Dapper Dan. I carry Fop.
Well, I don't want Fop. Gosh darn it. I'm a Dapper Dan man.
Watch your language, young feller. This is the public market. Now, if you want Dapper Dan, I can have it for you in a couple of weeks.
Well, ain't this place a geographical oddity? 2 weeks from everywhere. Forget it. Just a dozen hairnets. Well, it didn't look like a one-horse town, but try finding a decent hair jelly.
Scenes from the cabin.
Know the movie? Submit your guest to mailbox at cabinradio.ca or send us a message on Facebook for your chance to win gift certificates to some awesome Yellowknife restaurants, including the Monkey Tree Pub and Steak Restaurant, the Woodyard Brewhouse and Eatery, Flavor Trader, Copperhouse Eatery and Lounge, or Javaroma. Listen to Cabin Radio every weekday to win, or download the Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
This morning's show brought to you by Diamonds Are Forever. No, Diamond Forever, a celebration of Neil Diamond. That is coming up on Thursday at the Legion. It's a Neil Diamond party. Head on down to Yellowknife Legion Thursday, November 14th for a Diamond Forever, a celebration of Neil Diamond by Jason Scott. His one-man show. It's multi-award winning, and it's an exciting must-see event that delivers the look, sound, and excitement of that musical icon, Neil Diamond. Coming up on Thursday. He's joining us at some point this morning, I think. Right?
He's Neil.
I'm excited. He's going to show up late. In his rhinestone-studded something or others. So we're going to take a moment to talk about Kodiak. Kodiak's the puppy that's been in here all morning. You heard him fighting a little earlier on. Scrappy young thing he is. Currently being fostered by Sarah, and is just the cutest puppy, other than mine, that is existing right now.
I think he might be cuter.
Nope. So on the NWTSBCA page, 884 comments, 1,500 reactions and 391 shares.
Kodiak is breaking the internet.
Breaking the internet, gone completely viral, but not with Kennel Cough because he's had his shots. I think. I don't know. He's
and no controversy.
No controversy whatsoever. Well,
Although
a little bit of controversy. Sarah did do the write-up for the NWTSPCA saying half husky, half mountain goat. Kodiak is a floppy 8-week-old puppy who loves naps, preferably if they happen on your lap while you are watching a movie. That sells it right there.
I mean,
and the fact that he's half mountain goat.
We can get past that part.
Can we?
For the snuggle part, I think.
I don't know if I can have all this mixing going on. That's not my Canada. I can't find it, but there was one person who was like, what sick individual would allow these two animals to breed? Now, we're hoping that person was being sarcastic because obviously Sarah was being sarcastic. Kodiak is not half mountain goat. I don't think that works, scientifically speaking.
And I don't know if it's anything we want to confirm either way.
But I won't deny it.
You won't deny it.
I won't deny that this is a possibility.
I'm sure it's possible.
That Kodiak's mother or father did it with a mountain goat.
Yeah.
And then the mountain goat had pups.
Don't need to explore that.
Well, if you want to send in your drawings, you can. Kodiak's still up for adoption. Sounds like Kodiak's going to be headed to the island, maybe in BC, maybe the mainland. Not sure yet. A lot of our pups from the NWT-SPCA end up down south, either at other rescues or are adopted out, which is wonderful. Obviously, we'd love to see these dogs adopted rather than go to another rescue that can handle kind of the load. As we know, the NWT-SPCA gets overflowing with dogs and pets multiple times a year. So we're always looking for people to volunteer to help walk, to clean, and to foster, of course. So if you want to foster, get in touch with them as well.
And speaking of dogs, well, as you I think you mentioned Kodiak headed to Vancouver Island.
Possibly.
Possibly. Yes. That's another area where the NWT SPCA can always use a lot of help, which is, and I forget the term that it is, but people basically, companions, taking them on flights to their forever homes. That's always needed as well.
There it is. How the hell can he be half dog and half goat? What kind of humans would allow this disturbing thing to happen? And Sarah just wrote, it's a joke. It's a joke. It's fine. Everything's fine.
The same kind of people that can allow Don Sherry
All right,
to
you know
get fired
what?
from Arctic.
That is enough. Okay. Let's talk about something that actually is important to people here in the North.
Sick people.
Peter Puck. So the NWT-SPCA, always looking for volunteers, of course, always looking for fosters, and always looking for people. So if you're headed down anytime, doesn't need to be a special event. Like if you're heading down for business a couple times a week, take a couple of puppies with you. They're always looking for people to do that, which is nice. And I've done it myself. I took 3 puppies down last November.
Wow.
One stayed with me on my lap, and the other 2 were in their carriers. We checked them.
Inquiring minds need to know.
About?
Were there any accidents on your lap?
No.
Ooh.
Really well-behaved puppers.
Wow.
Couple of poops inside the little carrier. Couple little poops.
That's okay.
But handed them off
don't have to deal with that.
That's right. Handed them off to a rep from an Alberta Rescue Association. And it was great. We did a little video. It was one of our pet projects last year.
Big shout out to WestJet, too, because they're a big part of that companion program with the SPCA.
Absolutely.
And they do a lot of good work with them.
They do tons of good work. So thank you to them. But if you want to check out little Kodiak, NWT SPCA Facebook page, bunch of pictures there. Just adorable. And of course, you might be hanging around here for the next couple of days. You want to drop by, maybe grab some merch and fill up those stockings for Christmas. You can do that too. We got merch. We got these wicked mugs. Let me talk about our merch for a second. You can even pick up Kodiak. We'll just slap a Cabin Radio sticker on his butt. And then you can have Kodiak and your Cabin Radio merch all in one.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
Brought to you by Diamond Forever, a celebration of Neil Diamond. That's who it's brought to you by this morning. It's a Neil Diamond party. Head on down to the Yellowknife Legion on Thursday, November 14th for Diamond Forever celebration of Neil Diamond by Jason Scott. Jason Scott's one-man, multi-award-winning show is an exciting must-see. It's an exciting must-see event that delivers the look, the sound, the excitement, and the music.
And the smells.
Of icon Neil Diamond. And the smells? Yeah, it smells like lavender in here. That's what Neil Diamond smells like. Lavender and cookies.
All the time, I imagine.
That's right. I mean, if you were that rich, I mean, wouldn't you smell good all the time?
Yes.
Just dip myself in milk and honey.
You'd bathe in it.
Filled with poppies.
Daily.
Daily milk and honey baths. I would. My skin would be silky smooth. But enough about that. The gravy train has finally come to a halt for Lecter and his partner, Nicole. That's right. The City of Yellowknife puts forward a plan to regulate more than 200 Airbnbs. This story dropped on Friday on cabinradio.ca, brought to you by Emily Peacock, who is comfortably on vacation. As long as it has long proposed, the City of Yellowknife could soon begin regulating short-term rentals. I took a breath between B and gin. Wow. Regulating short-term rentals and charging a fine of $1,000 per day for those that remain unlicensed. Now, so this has obviously been a bone of contention for licensed B&B owners because they have to buy a business license, they have to do all these things and pay all this money in order to have people stay at their house. Meanwhile, Airbnbers like yourself are just like, I have an extra room, come flop at my house.
Flop around
All you want.
They do.
Unless you get a little too comfortable, then you're banned.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
You want to tell everybody how much? No, never mind. We won't get into
We can't get into our
your
personal rules.
racist rules.
Come on now.
City documents have noted a rapid growth in the number of short-term rental properties in Yellowknife. Defines those rentals as where clients book for 30 consecutive days or fewer. Mm-hmm. So now Airbnbs are incredibly popular here because we just don't have enough hotel space, especially during peak times like in September and March. I think are those peak times.
Yeah.
Because September the lights are great, but you still get a bit of that warmth. Mm-hmm. And then in March the lights are great. So,
and I assume that's going to be the biggest. If there is a point of contention, I don't know if everyone on city council is just like, yeah, we're all on the same page on this one. This should be a quick debate. But I assume if there is to be a point of contention, that will kind of be the one that we all know. There's just not a ton of space in Yellowknife.
There isn't.
You know, we've got some really nice hotels that have lots of space, but we're also doing pretty well tourism wise right now, and all those hotels are filled up. And a lot of I was about to say a lot of those bed and breakfasts. I can't speak for those bed and breakfasts because, well, they're the whole reason that we're looking at Airbnb in the first place. So I would assume that they probably figure they could be doing a bit better rental-wise.
I guess.
Unless they're just greedy.
I mean, I don't know what it is.
I'm just kidding.
Without looking at the comment section and knowing precisely what's going on, would you say it's time for Airbnbers to crack each other's heads open and feast on the goo inside?
Yes, I would, Jesse.
Fair enough. So the big bone of contention now, I imagine, and I haven't looked at the comment section yet, it would probably be about this just seems like a tax, another tax that the city is going to, like they're going to regulate. You're probably going to have to pay something in order to become an Airbnb.
Right.
Now, for the people out there that don't know much about Airbnb, what do you have to do to become an Airbnber on Airbnb.com or whatever?
So basically, you just have to have a legitimate room.
Yep.
Obviously, you know, something that is up to fire code, has a window.
A window?
A window.
What kind of luxurious things are we doing here?
And not just one of these little, like, half squint through windows.
If you're in Old Town, it's going to be a porthole.
That's right. And I figure this is probably mostly where the city is coming from on this side of things. Obviously, this probably would have been a conversation at some point, regardless of whether or not groups from bed and breakfast said, hey, we think this is unfair. We need you to take a look at this. It probably would have come up at some point or another anyway, because in the hypothetical scenario where you have someone who's like, hey, Airbnb, this is completely unregulated. We've got tourists coming into town who, you know, need a place to stay. I can make a few extra bucks. I don't have an actual bedroom, but I got a basement with a spare room.
Booyah.
And they'll probably be okay with that.
But that would be up to the renter, though, isn't it?
Well, but but you don't want to encourage people to misrepresent themselves on Airbnb, which at this point you could do very easily.
Yes.
In theory.
Okay.
So if you have someone who's completely misrepresenting their Airbnb accommodation, and then someone shows up, they're staying in a basement, it's stinky, it's dirty, and then that, in theory, you would like to think that it just looks bad on that person, but if you're someone from a different country and this is the first thing you've seen about Canada and the North is someone's dishonesty. That looks bad on everyone. It looks bad on the city as a whole.
Welcome to the West.
That's right. It's wild. It's unsettled. And that's what I figure the city as protecting itself and its the tourism industry. I figured that's kind of the city's view on this is we just want to make sure that we don't have anything against Airbnb. We think it is a potentially positive thing. When we don't have a ton of vacancy at our hotels and Airbnbs, this is a good thing. But we want to make sure that it's looking good and everything's legit. And you know what? And I have no problem with that.
Fair enough. But now you got to get a business license.
The nice thing is,
which is a tax,
because we've already been operating an Airbnb.
Yes,
we get grandfathered in.
What? So you don't have to buy a business license?
We do. As of May 31st, 2020.
So you got
a little time.
You got like 6 months of just whatever the hell you want to do.
A little time to figure things out.
So there are 27 licensed bed and breakfasts in town compared to 206 separate Airbnb listings.
Yes.
That's insane.
Yeah.
206? It is the Wild West out here. Everybody just renting out their extra room, just like having people staying over, that's all. But I understand why there should be regulations. But I thought Airbnb kind of gave you a bit of regulation as well. You got to confirm that,
the only regulation from Airbnb is basically on a karma type stance, where if you misrepresent yourself as a host or as a guest, obviously people will leave you a bad review.
Yes.
And then your profile gets, red
shuffled
flags.
to the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a lot smaller chance that, people are going to want to host you or going to want to stay at your place. However, in theory, it's as simple as creating a new profile. Yeah. And then you get rid of that.
That's how the free market should work.
Yes.
Right. I have a product. You like my product, you buy it. You don't like my product, you don't buy it. My product no longer becomes a thing. That's how the free market
absolutely
work. It shouldn't work by a bunch of rich people buying up a bunch of different things and then controlling the interest of the entire town or territory with backroom, handshakes.
I agree. That's awful.
There it is. That's how these things are done.
But if these regulations do come in place, it's being, I guess, debated tonight in front of City Council.
That's right.
And if these regulations do come into place, if you decide you wanted to start hosting people on Airbnb as of tomorrow, you would have to have that business license ahead of time. Luckily, it's only $200. I don't know if that's
$100.
Yeah, so
which
I don't
you can
know.
make it a night on an Airbnb.
And I assume that's the annual business license fee.
Yeah.
So it's really, and I think there were proposals for inspections of Airbnbs too, which I get a little on the invasive side, but at the same time, with what I was just saying, that you want to make sure everything is up to code and people are staying in a safe, clean place.
Absolutely.
Fair enough. I guess it's got to be what it's got to be.
That's right. So $200 times 206. That's a nice little boon.
I just couldn't keep my big mouth closed.
Nope. Couldn't do it. Had to talk about it on here, and now it's all your fault.
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca and by following the Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page.